Pixxel has become the first Indian space startup to get a contract with NASA. Under this contract, Pixxel will provide hyperspectral Earth observation data to NASA and the US government, and Pixxel is just one of 8 companies that was awarded a contract worth $476 million. Now, if you're wondering what makes Pixxel stand out from the rest of these companies, it's their cutting-edge hyperspectral imaging technology that NASA is after. And let me explain that. So hyperspectral imaging is basically a way of capturing images from space in extreme detail, much more than traditional satellites can handle. For example, if you're a farmer or you're running an agri-tech startup, Pixxel's technology can tell you how much moisture is in your crops or if any specific areas need more fertilizer. And that's just one example. This data can be used across multiple industries like agriculture, climate monitoring, biodiversity tracking, and even resource management. And that's exactly what NASA will be using this data for. NASA is looking for real-time insights on Earth's changing conditions like tracking climate change, and Pixxel's hyperspectral satellites are perfect for this. They capture data in over 250 different spectral bands, and this allows for ultra-detailed monitoring of what's happening on Earth's surface. And to put it simply, Pixxel satellites can see things that regular satellites can't. And with a resolution of 5 meters, this data is the most detailed we've seen from a multispectral satellite, at least according to this INC42 article. Oh, and Pixxel can also cover up to 40 kilometers in a single pass. Now, Pixxel didn't just win this contract out of nowhere. They've already launched 3 technology demonstrator satellites, which showed NASA just how powerful their technology is. This contract, which runs until November of 2028, is a huge vote of confidence for Pixxel and for Indian space tech startups as a whole. But Pixxel isn't stopping there. They're planning on launching 6 more satellites called Fireflies soon, and by 2025, they're aiming to scale that number to 24 satellites. This would allow them to build a constellation of hyperspectral satellites capable of monitoring the entire Earth every single day. And Pixxel has already raised over $70 million to fund their ambitious goals, and they're building a massive 30,000 square foot satellite manufacturing facility to make all of this happen. With this NASA contract under their belt, the sky really is the limit for Pixxel. And also, in case you're interested in knowing more about this incredible company, I actually did a podcast with one of the founders of the business, Awais Ahmed. You can check that out right here in the top right corner of your screen. All right, next up in the news, rumor has it that Ola's new electric auto rickshaw, tentatively called Rahi, is going to be hitting the streets in the next 3 to 4 months. Now, Ola hasn't confirmed anything officially yet, but you can see Bhavish Agrawal retweeting this X post talking about Ola's new electric auto rickshaw. According to an ET report, Ola's electric auto rickshaw could come in 2 variants, one for passengers and another for goods. So what that means is that they're not just looking to tap into the passenger market, but also the delivery and logistics side of things as well. Now, we all know Ola Electric has dominated the electric 2-wheeler space. Their electric scooters are all over Indian roads, and they've made quite a bit of an impact in that space. But if Bhavish decides to enter the electric auto rickshaw market, he'll face some pretty stiff competition. There's already close to 500 manufacturers in that space, including some pretty massive giants like Mahindra and Bajaj. So why would Bhavish want to go after this market? Well, it's simple. It's a huge market. India sold around 580,000 electric rickshaws in 2023, making it the largest electric auto rickshaw market in the world, even beating China. In fact, half of all rickshaws sold in India last year were electric. And knowing Bhavish, he loves going after massive markets with the potential for disruption. But I think the real question here is, can Ola Electric shape up the electric 3-wheeler market the way that they did with the electric scooter market? All right, next up in the news, after Ola Electric, Ather Energy is now the latest EV company that's gearing up for their IPO. They have officially filed their DRHP, and it looks like they're planning on raising 3,100 crore rupees through a fresh issue. On top of that, reports suggest existing investors are selling shares worth 1,400 crore rupees, bringing their total IPO size to around 4,500 crore rupees. Now, one of the biggest considerations when it comes to an IPO is a company's revenue and also their profitability or their losses. And in the case of Ather, they are actually a loss-making company. They did losses of 1,060 crore rupees in FY24, up from 865 crore rupees in FY23. But what might be even more troubling is the fact that Ather's revenue actually shrank in FY24. They made 1,753 crore rupees rupees in revenue, which is a bit lower than the 1,781 crore rupees that they brought in FY23. So what happened here? Well, after diving into their DRHP, we found that Ather's revenue drop is linked to changes in FAME. That's the faster adoption and manufacturing of electric scheme, the FAME 2 scheme. So the government reduced the cap on EV subsidies from 15,000 rupees per kilowatt hour to 10,000 rupees per kilowatt hour. And this meant that Ather had to raise their electric scooter prices from 20,434 rupees to 30,285 rupees. And that price increase impacted sales, ultimately causing their revenue to take a hit. But Ather wasn't just sitting back and watching all of this play out. To stay competitive, they launched the Ather Rista, a more affordable, family-friendly electric scooter aimed at the broader market, and this move is expected to help Ather tap into a wider audience. Now, here's where things get even more exciting. Ather's plan is to use a chunk of their IPO money to build a new factory in Maharashtra, Factory 3.0. This facility will be used to manufacture their next generation of scooters and also electric motorcycles. And they've already started working on the Zenith platform, which is designed to support the development of Ather's electric motorcycles. And this will again put Ather toe-to-toe with Ola Electric, who have already launched their electric motorcycles. All right, next up in the news, Uber is bringing back their premium service, Uber Black, in India, and they're kicking things off in Mumbai. And we're talking high-end cars here, top-rated drivers, and some cool features like quiet mode, where customers can enjoy their ride without any chatter, temperature control, luggage assistance, and even an extra 5-minute wait time without any added fees. But all of this is going to come at a cost. According to this Economic Times report, Uber Black is going to cost between 30 and 40% more than the current top-tier service Uber Premier. But Uber is pretty confident that this service will gain a lot of traction, especially amongst corporate travelers who are looking for a more luxurious and predictable experience. Uber Black was first launched in India back in 2013 with cars like Mercedes, BMW, and Audi, but later on they swapped those out for more affordable models like Toyota Innova, Honda City, and Toyota Corolla before discontinuing the service entirely. So the big question is, will Uber Black succeed the second time around? The market has evolved, and with a growing demand for premium services, especially amongst business travelers, Uber could be onto something here, but only time will tell. All right, now let's move to the funding news segment for today's video. This week, Indian startups raised $197 million, which is slightly below last week's fundraising amount and also continuing to be below the trend line for the second consecutive week. But now let's take a look at some of the companies that have raised funds this week. And the first one I want to talk about is Bengaluru-based Imobi, a company that offers mobile advertising solutions and is also India's first ever startup unicorn. They've raised $100 million in debt. Next, I want to talk about another Bengaluru-based company, Apps for Bharat. They're known for their devotional app called Sri Mandir, and this app allows users to book online pujas, make donations, and even live stream these events through their app. Plus, you get access to a lot of devotional content like prayers, bhajans, and even daily horoscope readings all in one place. This app has been downloaded by more than 1 crore people, and they've raised $18 million in their Series B round now. Following this, we have Pune-based EV battery startup Clean Electric, which has developed a proprietary rapid battery charging technology that can charge electric vehicles in just 12 minutes, and they've raised $6 million. Next, we have Delhi-based biotech startup Daraksha Eco Solutions, which was featured on Shark Tank India's Season 3, and they're using crop waste to create biodegradable packaging material, and they've raised $2.95 million. And then finally, we have Mumbai-based game development startup Gameon Studios, and they're behind the development of GTA-style Mumbai Gullies, and they've raised $1 million. All right, that is all the startup news that I have for you guys this week, but if you haven't checked out the video that we made about the many mistakes of Bhavesh Agarwal that have led to him becoming a successful entrepreneur, you should definitely go check that one out. You can find a link to it in the top right corner of your screen, and I will catch you in the next one.